Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It has been a few months, I feel like, since I made a moto vlog. The last one that I remember was probably the Back of the Dragon one. I think that was like November of 2025. So this one, definitely the first one of 2026, I think. I did that one on the four-wheeler, I remember, when I flipped it, but I guess that one was 2026. But anyway, I want to talk today about kind of taking a break from moto vlogging, and I guess what I learned, and I guess why I stopped, and what I kind of plan for this channel going forward in 2026. So first off, why I stopped moto vlogging. I feel like I was chasing trying to get monetized and trying to make money off of a hobby of mine, obviously motorcycling, and I just realized that it was so saturated, and honestly all sort of content making is extremely saturated right now. You know, the other, like, okay, earlier this week I just wanted to learn how to tie a certain type of knot, and so I just searched in YouTube, you know, this certain knot, and I think we're gonna go, we might have a little bit more of a joyride today. And you know, so I searched this one knot on YouTube, and for ever since then all I get are reels or YouTube shorts and YouTube videos about knot tying, and I was really not all that interested in knot tying. I just kind of wanted to tie one knot and be done with it. And what I've realized is that YouTube is full of so many YouTube channels and content creators specifically about knot tying and free climbing and all this stuff, and everyone has an affiliate link to buy my rope, my paracord, my cleat, my whatever, and it's just a never-ending stream of here's another knot, you can tie this knot, try tying this knot this way, whatever. And it's the same thing with moto vlogging, it's the same thing with everything, honestly. And whereas it's wonderful that there's that content out there to have as a resource and learn, I just realized, like, man, like, none of these people have to be making very much money off it. They're just trying to, like, subsidize a hobby. But, you know, rope climbing is probably way cheaper than motorcycles. I doubt they're spending tens of thousands of dollars on a brand new bike and thousands of dollars of gear and then track days and, you know, fuel and all the maintenance and everything. And I guess I just realized, like, it's so full of content, and a lot of it's low, like very low quality content. Like when I go through Instagram Reels, I get a ton of motorcycle content. That's like the vast majority of my Instagram, and a lot of it is just the same, like, part of a song dubbed over someone riding, and it's just like I can scroll through like 10 reels and it'll all be that, like, whatever in the moon rocks, where it's like taking pills and sleeping in cars, like that song, right? And it always plays right from that, like, that part of the song. And I was just like, it's just kind of annoying, honestly, is the way I feel about it. That it's like people are putting, like, it's lazy content creation, where it's like you're not even putting content that really makes that much sense with the background track. And I know that I've been guilty of this for sure, of not making super high quality content. And maybe this video will suck, but I guess what I realized was so many people are doing it, and there's just so much that it makes it really hard to stand out, even if you do a really good job, I feel like, because the people who do a good job in those spaces are already super popular and already have huge followings. And I'm not sure that even that many of those people are making that much money. Like, I watched Life at Lean, he put out a video this week about how much he earns, and he doesn't even earn that much, I guess, was my thought. I was like, for all this work and everything, and for having done this for so many years, Like I could just do better off in my own career field, which isn't knocking him or knocking being a creator or anything, because I think being creative is great, but I guess I was just like, maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to do. And that's what I learned from, you know, I haven't been making motovlogs, not because I've been riding, or I haven't been riding. I've probably been riding more than I normally do, in all honesty. I mean, I rode all winter long, I rode, you know, all spring, all now. I mean, I ride like at least 2 or 3 times a week, if not more. And I guess I just realized, like, it was robbing some kind of joy from me, and when it felt like a burden, like, it's like, oh, I have to try to make content this ride. Like every ride I have to try to record something. I have to go through the hassle of like charging the camera and clearing the memory card and setting the camera settings to try to make it look good, and it just became a lot of work that I was like not that interested in doing anymore, because it made every ride feel like work. And that's not the reason why I fell in love with riding in the first place. I started riding in the first place because I just genuinely love to ride, and I love the feeling, and I loved, you know, the experience, the camaraderie, all the different things that come with riding were what I was enjoying, and turning it into a job was not what I enjoyed and not what I was looking for. So that's why this channel has been pretty quiet recently, and we're just going straight into the sun. Should have planned this route a little better, but yeah, so that's why this channel's been a little bit dead. One of my friends was joking that he was a subscriber, and he was like, oh, I've been a subscriber, I'm not getting any content. So yeah, sorry if you've been hoping for some, but I don't think we're gonna continue the cadence of like 1 or 2 videos a week or whatever, like I was trying. You know, that was sort of a personal goal of like, can I stick with something and produce that many videos and be committed, like regardless of how well it's doing, just to the sort of arbitrary goal of making 100 YouTube videos. So now we're gonna transition into making just the videos that I want to make, because I don't think I'm ever going to make money off of this, and the goal is sort of just to share the love I have for riding and share some great rides and some information. So going forward in 2026, what we are going to do, the plan is in September ride the Chattahoochee, Georgia BDRX, which I've been preparing for. I got some people. So ride the Chattahoochee BDRX in September. Probably one of the biggest things I've been looking forward to. I've been trying to find people to ride a BDR with for years, and I finally found some people. So my plan is to actually record some of that. Probably, you know, get some drone footage, get some shots of riding. I'm not sure how much I'll actually record, because it's like a 3-day route, and I'm not going to bring a computer or anything to dump memory cards onto, so might not have a lot of content, but it should be fun. I'm super looking forward to it, and we'll try to capture some stuff just to remember the trip by. And then I got lots of BDRs I want to do after that, so we're gonna take this one BDR at a time, slowly try to conquer them all. But that's one of the big things I'm looking forward to. Obviously gonna try to do some more track days this year. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I was really hoping to join the Southeast Mini Motorcycle Association, where it's like people riding Groms and things under 450 cc's on go-kart tracks, but they have a lot of rules. They mandate that you have catch cans on like everything, and you can't have coolant in the bike. You have to switch out, you know, the radiators over to water, and I was like, man, this is just a lot of work to do it. The plus side though is it's about half the price to go to a go-kart track and ride there as it is to go to an actual racetrack. So I was like, maybe it's worth it. still gotta kind of figure it out and look at the schedule. I was pumped for that at the beginning of the season, and then I read their rules and I was slightly less pumped for it. So I was looking at, could I get like a Honda Grom? Could I get something that would kind of qualify in a lot of the rules, and sort of be more of what other people are going to be riding? Because it looks like a lot of people are on like 65cc two-stroke, like kids dirt bikes and Honda Groms and stuff like that. So this would probably be a bit more powerful than what most people are on, which would be a total change, because normally I'm on a racetrack with 600s and 1000s, and I'm by far the slowest person. So we're gonna see, but the goal is definitely to be on a racetrack again this year. Which one, I'm not sure, but that's one of the goals. And then I've been shopping non-stop for bikes. I've just been an absolute Facebook market junkie recently, messaging tons of people, trying to get bikes. Like several bikes have been taken out from underneath me. There was this fantastic KDX 200, which the Kawasaki KDX is one of the bikes I want the most. And I was second in line to have messaged the guy supposedly, so he was like, it's going to, you know, someone else gets first dibs on it, which kind of stings. But I lost that bike to them, but I'm still searching. But yeah, that kind of sums up the plans for this year. I definitely want to try to go to several off-road riding parks to practice for the BDRX. So that would be places like the National Forests nearby, maybe the Hatfield-McCoy trails. I've been spending a lot of time on my own personal trails, riding them, just clearing them, cleaning them up, and riding them, and just trying to keep up on the off-road skills, because I know that a decent amount of the BDR won't be super intense riding. You know, it's fairly well taken care of forest roads, but I also know portions of it are definitely going to be like rutted out or washed out, or some water crossings, some things that are a little bit more demanding on your skills. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. It's probably not going to film a ton throughout this whole year. I have a lot of projects of maintenance I want to do on the bikes, and you know, I'm someone who really likes to just ride the bikes. I'm okay working on them. I can work on them just fine. It's just not what I love to do, you know. Sometimes it's like, oh, it's a rainy day, I'll go out and clean my chains and, you know, adjust my chains and do whatever, but it's not what I love to. Like, you know, I've reached out to some people with project bikes and made offers to them, but it's just not really what I'm like dying to do, is exactly to fix someone else's like piece of junk that they want way too much money for. Because that's what I just feel like I keep seeing, is like people think that their stuff is super valuable, and it's just not. It's like, this doesn't run, it's missing parts, it hasn't run in years, you don't have a title for it, like this is just not valuable. But I don't know, you know, some people just see whatever they have as being worth a ton of money. But maybe one day I will graduate to being older and not having as much time to ride, or being more nervous to ride, or something like that, and I will collect and fix bikes then. There's a nice new 400Z behind me. Well, anyway, thank you all for watching this video. I appreciate you tuning in, and if you made it to the end, that's great. So yeah, looking forward to some exciting stuff this year. I hope you get out and ride. If you want to try motovlogging, of course try it, but if it feels like work to you, it might just not be worth it. So anyway, thanks for riding, everyone. Ride safe. Thanks for watching. Ride safe, that's what I meant to say, and I will catch you all on the next one.